I want to transition to that's getting your own house in order, right? But that doesn't talk about how do we change perceptions of a cost center to a revenue generator. So I'd love to kind of transition over and start talking about how did you make that transformation?
Yes. So now that we've gotten everything stabilized, we have that matrix rolled out, that allowed us to resolve issues faster. So for that reactive support, we're able to get the right resource to the right person at the right time. And in turn, that gave up some more capacity on the rest of the team, right? So instead of just being in a cycle where we're stuck running, you're able to actually pause and plan and use a portion of the team's time to conduct those proactive services in courtrooms and identify issues before they happened. And that we are able to charge as a service that's an annual reoccurring revenue line item, which is huge for SaaS, but then also start to have the support team directly contribute back to that revenue other than just kind of being seen as that cost. And then as another outcome, the team's also been able to help on project related work with our operations team because they have that additional capacity. And so we're also able to contribute in that way. But taking a step back, because we've built those stronger relationships with our customers, we started fixing issues faster. Customers started leaning in and asking us, what else is new for the record? Or should I explore this new cloud product your sales team keeps telling us about, right? So they started to treat us more like an advisor or consultant rather than just somebody they call when something's broken and they want something fixed. And so that was really helpful to be able to start to pivot those relationships and start to give leads to the sales team as a result of some type of issue stemming up in their courtroom.
We all know that we have a tremendous capacity to impact cross sell and upsell. And I think it was a study by Forrester that said 73% of B2B new annual revenue should come from existing clients, right? So we chase new logos and we have to, or we have to bring in new businesses. But our ability to create additional revenue from existing clientele. And what I'm hearing the story is you're so well positioned to do that, right? Because you've created this advisory kind of a role where they are leaning in and asking you. That's incredible. You also, did I hear right that you actually created a new service line that you're now selling?
Yeah, so it's something we had, but we didn't really promote it or push it a ton with customers just because in the past, the team didn't have capacity to actually deliver that service. And so it wasn't something they wanted to go out and kind of broadcast, right? And because we're able to make that switch, then the team did get more capacity and understand the value. And I think that's another piece is a lot of times the team doesn't understand how the contracts work or the contractual value, or even how some of the inner workings of the finances work on the back end of the business. And so that was something else that a lot of the team has now seen. What does a contract look like for support? What are our terms? How does all this work? Because that was another piece we stabilized and standardized across our customers. When I first came in, that was a mess. It was each customer basically had a different version of our contract. And so it was really hard to manage and deliver a service consistently. And giving the team exposure to that allowed them to also understand the importance that they're not just here to fix a problem. We're going to turn it into how can we get an opportunity or a sales deal out of this interaction as well.